What's going on, all you karate enthusiasts? The Cinephellas dojo is open for business. I'm Uncle Henry Hill, and that's my good mate over there.
Hey, you can call me Logan Lawrence.
Or Logan Lawrence. Do you have a facelift, sport, or is that
I'm
your
looking
natural
for
skin?
I'm looking for some Coors Banquet beers and some babes. You seen them?
Yeah, you left those back in the 80s along with your teenage years. So what's going on, everybody? We are back here once again to cover one of our favorite shows that has now moved from YouTube Red over to Netflix. We're talking about Cobra Kai. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
No fighting until the tournament.
We'll settle this on the mat.
And these two rascals are really glad to be back. This season 4 debuted on December 31st, the day after my surgery. So I did nothing but watch Cobra Kai all day, binged it. One day, I haven't done that in a very long time. Had a blast with this season. Very excited to return back to the Valley. And the All Valley tournament coming up with, you see, old Billy, Johnny Lawrence, and Daniel-san teaming up to take on Cobra Kai, led by Kreese, and then a new villain they reintroduced this season, Terry Silver. So there's a lot on the line. There's a lot at stake this season, and definitely had a great time with it.
Absolutely, I did too. It picks up right where we left off with last season at the very end with Johnny and Daniel-san finally agreeing to work together. Two dojos coming together. Of course, we saw Eagle Fang Karate. Johnny's, of course, Johnny named it Eagle Fang Karate, his dojo. Meets over with Daniel-san and Miyagi-Do, and they're going to work together to take down Kreese and Cobra Kai. But of course, nothing works out as well as it can because Daniel-san and Johnny just can't get along for shit. And that's going to continue on over the length of season 4. Shortly after the start of the episode, we pick up with a new character, Kenny, this kid that's just moved into town. We see him waiting at the bus stop, listening to music, dancing, and he doesn't know the bus pulls up. And of course, all the kids are laughing and making fun of his dance moves, throwing stuff at him in the bus. And that's where we are introduced to a new actor playing Daniel-san's son, Anthony. And that starts this new storyline that's going to take place not only over this season, but is going to continue on into the next, where Anthony is growing up now. He's getting bigger. Last time we saw him in the series, he was younger and kind of quiet and didn't really have anything to do on the show but sit at the dinner table during dinner scenes and whatnot. So right. Daniel-san's son, Anthony, and this new kid, Kenny, are going to have a storyline where Anthony is sort of the bully at first to Kenny, and Kenny has to go to his brother who's in this, jail, and ask, what should he do to protect himself and all that, and keep away from these kids that are picking on him and really humiliating him and making, his life a living hell. Shortly after moving here, he doesn't have any friends. He's getting picked on, and he's going to have to turn to Cobra Kai for help.
He needs their help and help bad. So he comes across, Cobra Kai. He wants to defend himself, learn how to fight to get Anthony, Daniel LaRusso, son off his back. And, a big part of the season has to do with the new people, the new cast, the younger cast being the son and this new kid they're introducing that goes into Cobra Kai and fighting. You kind of see their roles kind of change throughout the season, but you can see that they're introducing younger, newer cast, maybe leading up to the next seasons. But for the most part, I had fun with that. I like how they did that instead of the normal feud between Johnny and Daniel. It gets tiresome after a while. We've seen it 3 seasons. So them introducing these characters, I thought was pretty cool. Set up some really good fight scenes.
You get the great fight scenes this season, and you get an introduction to a character that we last saw in part 3, or you didn't see. Part 3 isn't very popular, so I think I've maybe seen it once or twice. But I do remember his Terry Silver's performance from part 3, this coked up, rich douchebag. I think he has to do with like waste management and toxic waste. He's a big bad guy in part 3. He corrupted Daniel LaRusso and tried to, take him away from Mr. Miyagi. It was just this big over-the-top performance in part 3. So he's going to come back. That's who we saw Kreese calling up. He looked at the picture from his Vietnam days, and he noticed the picture of young Terry there. He's going to call up Terry now to join him, since Johnny and Daniel are going to be working together. And it's all leading up into the big All Valley tournament at the end of the season. So the stakes are real high as far as the it's all leading up to the All Valley Karate Tournament. They're going to have to do some training here, and Kreese has to go over to Terry Silva and try to, obviously get him to agree to come back and help train these young kids at Cobra Kai. But Terry's living a totally different life this time. He's this rich, kind of older, looks like he's in his 60s kind of guy that's left that old life behind. He's been through rehab. He's more zen now and calm just overall. He doesn't have any sort of resemblance to the last time we saw him in part 3. He's this old, gentle kind of guy who just wants to have these nice, lavish dinner parties on his beach house. And, he wants to leave his old lifestyle behind because he hit rock bottom before and he doesn't ever want to go back there. So Kreese is going to have a hard time sort of, leading him back into the karate world. But as we see over the episodes this season, he does entice him and get him back to the dojo. And the first time we see Terry put the ponytail back and put on the gi is pretty cool. That was my most enjoyable part of this season overall, was watching Terry's evolution throughout this whole series and seeing him sort of be on the fence about going bad again, or, playing it straight and narrow like he's been living his life, since the last time we saw him.
I was really excited for him to return. He's one of my favorite villains of all time, like top 10 movies. He's up there with Vader. I mean, I think he's even more badass, close to Kreese. They're two different psychopaths, but they're both badasses. But I loved his return in this. It was kind of funny, them in Vietnam, they're the same height. So they're like early 20s, and now he's like eight inches taller than Kreese. I'm like, did he have a growth spurt in his 30s or what?
He must have.
He's a big guy, unless Martin Cove's super short. I don't know, but he was like really menacing and a lot taller than Kreese, so it was pretty funny. But I thought he brought a lot to the season. It really brought a lot of really great atmosphere. It's a guy that you're rooting for early on. Terry Silver being, an old retiree entrepreneur living on the beach with his vegan girlfriend, living the Southern California lifestyle, healthy, stress-free. And then you see him really change. His art changes, going back to the dojo, having to do the Cobra Kai and Kreese, and then taking on Johnny and Daniel. And you see his character change, but I really loved him in this season.
Absolutely. It wouldn't be Cobra Kai without some great fight scenes with all the kids. This season, you really get some over-the-top action. Just, the kids are fighting wherever they can. They're fighting at school. They're fighting at the prom. They're doing a lot of training. And some of it can be way over the top at times. They up the cheesiness and the over-topness from the earlier seasons, and they really ramp it up with this. Especially when Johnny Lawrence takes the kids over to this abandoned warehouse and he's training them using, just like crates for weights and sort of having them jump over buildings and do all this ridiculous over the top stuff, which is funny, but it's definitely the cheesiness factor of Cobra Kai is on full display in season 4. We do get a great scene with Johnny Lawrence training, kind of like it reminded me of like one of the montages from the earlier films from, maybe part 1 or part 2 with Daniel-san training, where Johnny's, running through the water, he's running down the street. Some guy comes up and is riding on a scooter. He takes the scooter and throws it down and smashes it. And then, continues on in his training. But you get a lot of great scenes like that with the training. And you also see another fight between Johnny and Daniel-san this season, which has been the focus for the first 3 seasons, and it continues on here. They just can't seem to get along for anything. So by the end of the season, they're going to have to make a decision. Are they going to be able to work together or not? And, it's never smooth sailing for these two, and they're trying to work together with the 2 dojos and all the kids trying to get them together. It's just always a big mess. And at the end, by the time they have the tournament, they're doing their best to work together, but nothing's really working out.
Yeah, it just never works for them. It's like a married couple. All they do is fight. 2 different training styles and mindsets, and like how they're training the students. It's just hilarious. Like, it's very 80s at times, and then also very chill, having to do a Daniel-san, Mr. Miyagi. It's more about peace and, thinking about things and using her mind and all that stuff. And where Johnny's all like balls to the wall action and in your face about it. So it was funny throughout the season. There's still them bickering a lot. But I thought the real MVPs of this season were Terry Silver. I thought Tori, Robbie were really great this season as well. More Cobra Kai. You see the arcs are better for that team, especially like Tori and Robbie. I thought they were really good.
I'd agree with that assessment. Yeah, the real stars of the show are the bad guys, quote unquote, which are never really, all the way bad. They're just kids that have had a tough upbringing and have had a lot of things happen to them in life that have been playing against them. So you see some really good character development this season between Robbie and Tori's characters. With Tori, we find out, she has a troubled life at home, her mom and that she's trying to take care of her family basically. And she's having to work these side jobs. And that leads into the storyline with Amanda, Daniel's wife, kind of, figuring this out. She confronts her earlier on in the season about getting into a fight with her daughter, Samantha, at their house last season when they had the big fight at Daniel's son's place. And the window got broke. She got thrown through the window and all that. Yep. So she confronts her about that. And it leads to Tori getting fired at her job. And that's when she finds out, that she's kind of been trying to take care of her family. She's got a lot going on. And Amanda didn't really realize that. So, throughout the rest of the episodes, she's trying to, help Tori. And eventually by the end of the season, Tori acknowledges this and tries to have a little bit better relationship with Samantha. But Samantha's character, on the other hand, is kind of embracing more of the dark path. She's trying to break away from Danielson more this season, just knowing all the moves and the philosophies from Miyagi-Do. She's also getting, tips from Johnny Lawrence this season. And that kind of changes her. She's always been on the defense, but this season, their whole motto is let's go on the offense and mix it up and kind of blend the two dojos together in their philosophies. Maybe that'll work to help take down Cobra Kai and Tori.
Can't stand Sam in the show at all. Like every season just gets worse. Like the acting and the fighting it's bad. I don't know. I just can't get into it.
It's the weak link for sure.
It's the weakest
acting
link.
And fighting style.
Even Miguel wasn't that good this season. I don't know. He wasn't working for me this season. I don't know. It felt really flat.
It was flat for me too. Yeah, I noticed that too. He was a lot stronger in the earlier season. He seemed like he was half in this year. Like, I don't know if he's getting bigger now and working on these other projects. I know he signed on to this other DC project. So I don't know if he's like
Blue Beetle
focusing on other stuff and his mind's in other places. But yeah, I kind of noticed that too. He seemed like he was only half in this year and didn't really give it his all.
Yeah, it seemed, I don't know what the word is, but yeah, it just seemed off to me. Like the other seasons, he was more the focal point. He was a badass. This season, he just kind of phoned it in. It seemed like, and Sam too. It's just really flat. But another standout performance I wanted to bring up was Hawk. I thought he was awesome at the end. Came through at the end without spoiling too much, but I thought he came through, and his story was really good too. What he's going through, between him and some of the Cobra Kai, you really feel for them.
Yeah, his character was great. I love how, he has to deal with losing his mohawk this year. Something happens with the other kids and Cobra Kai, and he kind of loses that. And in the process, he loses his identity. He's always been known as this kid with the mohawk, obviously with his nickname. But this season he goes and we learn more about his actual, character without him being Hawk. His real name is Eli, and he's sort of trying to find himself throughout the season. And by the end in the tournament and everything, we really get to know more about him. He gets another love interest, which kind of, gives him more confidence, and he's able to, work his way through the tournament. But yeah, I'd have to agree. He was another strong performance in the whole series. Robbie had a really good arc this season, I thought too. And, a lot of it has been the same in the past seasons. And this one kind of started out the same, but by the end he has, a change of heart and finally comes around, and tries to, get back and try to see, Johnny's point of view. They've always clashed, but by the end they come together. But of course, by the end of the show, they always leave you on a cliffhanger. And this season's no different with what happens at the All Valley tournament. You find out some trickery happened of course, it's going to involve Cobra Kai. It's going to be Kreese and Terry Silver doing some shady stuff behind the scenes. And that's going to, take things into the next season. And, it's still happening. We got confirmation that season 5's already been filmed. So it's probably in the process of being edited now. So we may see it earlier than next Christmas. We don't know if we'll see this season earlier, but it's already filmed. But how it ends this season is going to, again, lead directly into the next season. And they're going to have to navigate again. And this rivalry is never going to die.
Never going to die. They're going to be in season 10. They're still bickering like an old married couple. Johnny and Daniel will never figure it out. But yeah, this is a cheesy, nostalgic show, balls to the wall action. You know, if you're a fan of Karate Kid, you're going to love this show. It's one of the better ones out there, especially on Netflix. Really excited for the new season, the reintroduction of Terry Silver, the bad guy from Karate Kid 3 returning. Did a great job, really standout performance, a lot of MVPs, more Cobra Kai this season. I thought they were better than the other Miyagi-Do cast, but I thought it was a really solid entry into the Cobra Kai franchise. I'm really excited to see what they do with the next season. More bad guys showing up. And overall, I had a really great time with it. So that being said, I'll give season 4 of Cobra Kai a 4 out of 5 Terry Silver hair pieces.
I had a great time with it as well. It was probably a little weaker than previous seasons, but it gives you everything that you want from a show. You know, it gives you the karate action. It gives you great villains. It gives you great character arcs. You know, some of the kids were stronger performances than others, but overall, I had a really great time with the whole show. It was great to see Terry Silver come back. I thought, you know, he did a great job in his performance, and I really enjoyed his arc over the season. I love the whole training montage sequence with Johnny Lawrence. That was one of the best montages I've seen. That really made me smile and laugh. And yeah, it even pulled on the heartstrings several times during this season. Some things happen with the characters, takes it to some emotional places, deals with some family issues and them trying to work it out. And just them all being teenagers, you know, you can remember being back in that day. Everything's really complicated. You get all these relationships happening. You know, you lose friends, you gain friends. You always got some girl you're interested in. She cheats on you. It deals with all that. So it's a lot. You know, it's not just karate. It's focused on their lives as well too. And it's also awesome to continue to see how Daniel and Johnny, this dynamic relationship, like you said, it's like an old married couple. They're always bickering, but in several instances, they're able to come together finally. So we're starting to see some, you know, accepting of each other, and that's going to lead into the new season. I really dug this season. It was awesome. You know, like I said, maybe not as strong as the other entries, but still great nevertheless. Love the All Valley tournament at the end, and even get a special surprise cameo from a major recording artist.
You're talking about Travis Tritt?
That being said, I had an excellent time with Cobra Kai season 4. I can't wait for season 5. I am going to give Cobra Kai season 4 a 3.5 out of 5 Terry Silver ponytail pieces.
So we're interested in hearing your guys' thoughts on the newest season of Cobra Kai. What'd you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite season? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe.
We had a great time reviewing Cobra Kai season 4. Can't wait for season 5. We want to know what you guys thought about this season. Please leave comment in the comment section below. Let us know if you agreed with us in our assessment. Thank you guys so much for following along with us. Please, follow our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We have a YouTube page, obviously, where you're watching this. Plenty of other reviews that we have in store for the new year in 2022. There's lots of new shows and movies on the horizon we can't wait to cover. This has been Uncle Henry Hill here. That's my good mate, Logan Myers. Until the next Cinephellas TV or movie review. Sheesh.